I kind of felt like I had no more strength, and like I didn't have any support from my family, the kid's dad. You know, I was alone. I felt like I was alone. The only people that were there for me were my old life friends, where I didn't want to be, because that wasn't the way and the life that I wanted to live anymore. So there became a point in my life where I had to decide, was I going to get half of my bowel cut out or what? And I decided to. So I was alone, just me and my kids, and I was still living the life that I was living. I got it cut out, and then just, I don't know, I was still living the life I was living, but I was slowly pulling away from it.
When I first met Dana, she was always down, always looked down, dressed in hoodies, no shoes. You know, I knew she was all about her babies, but I used to get a sense that Mum was trying to push them aside and deal with the issues that were happening in her head. And now, oh my God, she's a different person. And when I first went over to her home to do a home visit, I was like, oh, this is beautiful, Dana. This is not a home, this is a mansion. How did you? She's like, because of yous. And yeah, I just love her. Her personality has changed, her attitude has changed. And that's what I mean by the mindsets. You get them out of the mindset that they're currently in into the mindset that they want to be in.
I think when she came here, she was very unwell. You know, she had a lot of issues. There were a lot of issues around, you know, alcohol, drugs, you know, and she had a huge debt on her shoulders, you know, and there was a lot of stuff about a relationship, not only with the father of her children, but also with her immediate whānau as well. And so she just thought, well, you know, going out and getting drunk and doing those things, and as long as her children were fed, that was being a good mother. She was very unwell, and I think you've got to tread softly when somebody's really unwell, because it may be, I know in the beginning, because she had 3 babies that went at school, and Desmond was only a little baby when she came here, you know, and so if it just meant that, you know, we could look after those 3 babies so that she could just have a rest, an hour or hour and a half's rest in the afternoon, then that just gave her enough to charge her batteries, you know, because she was just, her body was just so run down. And so little things like that. So you have to, it's like turning the pages of a book. You know, you've got to deal with one page at a time. Today, Dana and I, you know, like, see, we have a really good relationship. In the beginning, it was like a love-hate relationship, you know, but today it's really natural. We can talk, you know, she can cut the pumpkin up, we're making soup, we're having this catch-up, you know. It never ever was like that. So if you go through stages, you know, of their lives, and I think in the beginning that for us in my role, I had to take control of her life to ensure that she was, not only she was safe, but her children were safe. So there's different aspects right through the whole thing, but I think Manaaki is a huge part of that. I think out of all the whānaus that have been here, she was probably the one where we saw how her body revitalised, you know, just with the support, just getting herself well so that she could start dealing with some of the mamai, you know, that she was going through with her tāne, with her children, you know, and trying to manage that well.
My goals were in life at the time, which was have a stable home and have my children home with me, you know, and then go from there. So I accomplished my drug and alcohol, my parenting and all that kind of stuff, but it actually changed me as a person. It wasn't like, just saying it is not the same feeling as living it and just being around positive people, and it changed me as a person. Instead of saying, oh, be bad, that's cool, it's like, where is that going to get you in life, man? Being happy, being positive about everything, not swearing or getting angry about little small things. Even if people are negative towards me, still being positive towards them, that's the sort of person that I've become. Instead of like the old person, which was just beat everyone up. Honestly, that's the truth. I used to beat males up, intimidate males, that's the gangster life teaching me that kind of way of life. I'd leave and go and be out on the streets and go and smoke drugs and drink alcohol and things like that. Made decisions in my life that my parents never knew of, Hung out with people that I thought was cool and no one else knew about, Did things in my life that I never ever told anybody. And I think it just tainted the life that my grandparents had started for me, And it became a normal surrounding, I guess. Like, the more that I lived it, the more that I thought that, oh, this is life. Even being around gang members and stuff like that, I thought, wow, this is cool, be bad. I used to beat males up, intimidate males, that's the gangster life teaching me that kind of way of life. And that's what I thought life was all about, Well, I knew that's not what life was all about, but that's what I chose to do in life. And just thinking of myself was what I was doing, like I had 4 kids that I had to look after. So I accomplished my drug and alcohol, my parenting and all that kind of stuff, but it actually changed me as a person. It wasn't like, just saying it is not the same feeling as living it and just being around positive people, and it changed me as a person. Instead of saying, oh, be bad, that's cool, it's like, where is that going to get you in life, man? Being happy, being positive about everything, not swearing or getting angry about little small things. Even if people are negative towards me, still being positive towards them, that's the sort of person that I've become. Yeah, and I met up with Whaia Whitiao, Whaia Lona, and sat there and I'm like, great, this feels like, because it's at the marae, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I should be a good girl, sit here like this and talk right. So and that was right, but they interview the people that they take on to get to know them and the situations they're in, and if they're willing to make a change in their life. And when I got there, I don't know what it was, but I bawled out in tears and I told them every single thing that I went through, that I'm going through, that I'm where I'm at now, and that I just need help. That I just cried, I just broke down. But my decision was to do good in life at that time, It was just like, when I sent them up north, it was like, nah, I need to do better for my children. And, there's so many better things to do in life than making money through drugs.
When I saw her today, to be able to sit in the same wharekai that she used to cook in all the time for her children, and see her bubbly, talking about her life, then it makes it all really worthwhile.
I don't know. And she told me today, she goes, if it wasn't for you, just the little things of taking them to get furniture for their home, the little things of taking them to the home to view it, so that they can confirm to Housing New Zealand that they want it. Just her, she was like, really, is this my home? She came back and she told me, she goes, I can't understand why I get a home like this. I don't even deserve it. And then, you know, just the little things of saying to her, no, you do deserve it. You do deserve it. And moving them in and letting them grow by themselves, that's the difference.
This is where me and my children were staying, and with all these other cabins, we'd all get together and have a quiet in the kitchen, where we all share the kitchen. We don't eat in our cabins, we eat only in the kitchen. So we'll all have quiet in there together. Sometimes we'll cook something, eat and sit down and eat together and get to know each other, you know, learning all that kind of stuff all over again. From the life that I used to live, which was, don't even come in the gate, you know, stuff, silly things like that. Negativity, there was none of that here.
Right, yeah.
This is where we lived for nearly 3 months, 2.5 months, 3 months. This is where me and my 4 children lived. 5 children, because he was just born before we moved into here. This is our safe haven, away from all the life that I used to live. And if I need anything, all the team, my new family, I say, we're just on hand, you know, like right here. If I needed anything, I'll just go, I just need to walk over there and they're there. For any little things, maybe I'll be going through something, you know, and they're there to support me.
Relates to my question.
So when I'm here, I feel a strong sense of safety for my family, for my children, away from the worldly life that I used to live. Whānau together, you know, helping each other. If I needed anything, they're right there. So it became my home, my family's home. So I've been in my house for nearly a year now, and 2 weeks ago they invited us here, we didn't know what for, and they filled our freezers. So they've done that a few times already since we've lived in our home, and yeah, they stay connected with whānau that they help after they house them. They don't just house them and support them with all the different stuff, they stay connected, which is awesome.
That korowai that Manaaki tangata provided for you.
I can remember talking to Dana and saying to her that she needed to love herself, and that if she didn't love herself, how was she going to love anything or anyone else? And that she needed to acknowledge and be able to say to herself that, you know, I'm a good mother, and I'm going to be an even better mother. I'm going to work through all of these things one by one, and it's going to be good at the end. That was the first conversation her and I had, and you know, I don't apologise for being upfront and being honest, and probably keeping people on track, you know. And I think that you can get some whānau, not all whānau, so some whānau who will actually think, oh yes, I'll do this today, but tomorrow it changes, you know. And I think that she really wanted to make those changes.
It's kind of like in our life now, you know, but in a different way.
Yeah, well, it's the same, but you're just doing it in a different setting.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I mean. Like when I was told about that, I'm like, yes, I will, you know, reach out and do that for families, because, you know, like you have inspired me, I guess, to do things like that for other whānau.
wow.
I do meals too, so because my kids don't always eat all the food that I cook.
So you cook for other families who don't have any time.
Yeah, but how I do it is whatever the kids don't eat from the meals that I cook, I store them and freeze them.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
a
go.
good idea.
Yeah, and I give them to the lady that drops off to the families that need meals. So that's one
What
thing.
do they call it?
Scaffold team,
Oh, why do they call it the scaffold team?
because we're building.
But yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want Manaaki Tangata to be just another agency. I want us to live on her legacy. the way that it should be, the way that she made it. Wahine toa. I even asked myself, like, okay, how many men back here work with us? There's John Boy, there's Huri, there's Uncle Tom, but how many women dominate? And, you know, she was a woman, and a strong woman, and like the woman that'll work, strong-minded woman, and that's what we are. And with the legacy, I think she's left it on us. It's growing on us.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it. Why am I here? Wahine toa, mahi a te mahi. That's what I know.
It's out there, kids, children, what's your advice to them?
My advice is, if you're going through anything, and you know, even if you don't get referred for your case manager, Te Puea Marae is there for each and every one of us. If you know, I was in this point where I didn't have any avenues in life where to turn to, and Te Puea Marae came into my life and helped change my life for the better. So if there's any people out there that are struggling in life or anything that they're going through, you know, Te Puea Marae is there for everybody and anybody that is willing to make change in their life. They helped me change my life. They're my family. Yeah, I love them all, the work that they do for all the families. You know, they still reach out to me and my family. They still give us kai. They still fill our freezer with meat. Like, I've been in here nearly a whole year. And they still ring me up, come on, we've got some kai here, please. Can you make an appointment? You know, what day can you come in? What time can you come in? Just got to come pick up this kai. And, you know, and it's not only me that they're still reaching out to. They've housed hundreds of other families that they do the same thing for. Even when I got this home, they fully furnished it, right to knives and forks.
Talking about the